the mysterious reappearance. The Vulcan captain, though stern and rigid, couldn't entirely mask his concern. "Very well, Captain Adams. You have 20 minutes to prepare for boarding. If you have any more demands, make them now." His voice, though authoritative, carried a hint of reluctance. Captain Adams, though relieved, remained wary. "Understood. We will comply, but be aware we're not just a ship. We represent humanity's defiance against impossible odds. Any aggression on your part will be met with the same spirit." Adams's words echoed with a blend of defiance and desperation, reflecting the gravity of their situation. As the Vulcans prepared for boarding, the crew of the Odyssey worked feverishly to secure their ship and tend to their wounded. Commander Adams, his mind racing with strategies and contingencies, turned to Dr. Eliza Novak, who was knee-deep in technical troubleshooting. "Eliza, how long until we can stabilize the quantum drive?" he asked, his voice strained with worry. Dr. Novak, her face etched with fatigue and smeared with grime, looked up from her console. "It's hard to say. The damage is severe. We might have minutes or hours before the drive fails completely. Our priority is to keep the ship functioning and our crew safe." Her hands moved swiftly over the controls, her focus unyielding. The tension on the Odyssey was palpable as the Vulcan boarding party arrived. Their presence was clinical and methodical, a stark contrast to the chaotic atmosphere aboard the human vessel. They moved with precision, scanning the ship and gathering data, their expressions inscrutable. Adams, knowing their only option was to stall for time, kept the communication channels open, hoping desperately that his message would reach Earth Command. He knew that any delay could mean the end for them, but he remained steadfast in his resolve, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The brewing galactic storm. The arrival of the Orion Alliance and Admiral Zara Vosto marked a turning point in the unfolding drama. Adams and Novak, still grappling with their dire situation, were met with a revelation that threatened to upend their understanding of the galaxy. The Council is not merely a governing body, they are a coalition of the most influential and powerful species in the galaxy, Vosto explained, his tone grim. Their interest in your quantum drive technology suggests they see it as a threat to their control. Adams, still reeling from the news, could barely grasp the full implications. "What exactly do the Orions want in return for your support?" he asked, seeking clarity amidst the confusion. Admiral Vosto's response was as foreboding as it was revealing. "We need an end to the Council's oppressive reign. They have subjugated countless civilizations to maintain their dominance. Your technology could shift the balance of power, but we have a price to pay. We require your help to access a hidden archive that holds the key to defeating the Council." The stakes were higher than Adams had anticipated. The loss of their ship and crew was now entangled with a larger galactic struggle. As Vosto spoke, Adams and Novak exchanged uneasy glances. The offer of support was tempting, but years of isolation had bred mistrust in humanity's representatives. "Why reveal yourselves now after all this time in hiding?" Adams demanded, his voice tinged with skepticism. Vosto's expression grew solemn. "The galaxy is shifting. The Council's grip is weakening, and your breakthrough could tip the scales. We cannot afford to ignore this opportunity." The conversation was abruptly cut short as alarms blared throughout the Orion Alliance station. The tension escalated as General Nathaniel Briggs, now revealed to be a significant player in this complex web of alliances, arrived with urgent news. "Earth is on the brink," he said, his voice laced with urgency. "We need that quantum drive technology back home, and we need it now." The debate that followed was intense, with Novak and Adams arguing against Briggs's demands. Before they could reach a consensus, the station was rocked by explosions and tremors, signaling the arrival of Zarn's forces. The Council's top agent, Zarn, had launched a surprise attack, further complicating the already chaotic situation. Adams and Novak, caught in the midst of the chaos, barely managed to escape with a crucial quantum drive component. They fled Earth aboard a stolen stealth ship, their course set for the one place their pursuers could not follow, the uncharted void between universes. The Orion Alliance and the Void's secrets. Emerging from the quantum jump, Commander Kyle Adams and Dr. Eliza Novak found themselves staring at an astonishing sight. A massive space station with its sleek, curved architecture loomed before them against the backdrop of unfamiliar stars. The Orion Alliance insignia, a stylized constellation glowing faintly, adorned the station's hull. Adams, gripping the controls tightly, signaled their arrival. "We're being hailed," he announced, his voice steady despite the tension. The communication panel flickered to life, revealing Admiral Zara Vosto's stern face. "Earth vessel, this is Admiral Vosto of the Orion Alliance. You are trespassing in restricted space. Identify yourselves immediately." Adams leaned forward, his voice resolute. "Admiral, I'm Commander Kyle Adams. This is Dr. Eliza Novak. We received coordinates leading us here. We need to discuss the quantum drive technology." Vosto's eyes narrowed as he processed their information. "Ah, the quantum drive pioneers. We've been expecting you." The conversation continued as Vosto explained the Alliance's interest in Earth's technology. The Orion Alliance, it seemed, was not merely a passive observer, but an active player in the galactic struggle against the Council's oppression. The offer of support was enticing, but Adams and Novak remained wary. "Why reveal yourselves now after years of secrecy?" Adams asked, his voice betraying his skepticism. Vosto's expression grew serious. "The galaxy's political landscape is changing. The Council's control is waning, and your breakthrough could be the tipping point. We need to act swiftly." As Vosto spoke, alarms blared throughout the station, signaling the arrival of Council forces. The tension escalated as General Nathaniel Briggs, now revealed to be a key player in this complex struggle, arrived with urgent news. "We're under attack," Briggs said, his voice grim. "Zarn's forces have launched a surprise assault. We need to defend the station and protect the technology." The urgency of the situation demanded immediate action. Adams and Novak, realizing the gravity of their predicament, set to work, collaborating with the Orion Alliance to fortify their defenses and uncover the secrets of the ancient ruins within the Void. Secrets of the Void, the vast Orion Alliance space station, a marvel of alien engineering, became a hub of frenetic activity as the crew scrambled to prepare for the impending assault. Adams and Novak, now deeply entrenched in their collaboration with the Alliance, found themselves in a cavernous laboratory, surrounded by remnants of ancient technology. The discovery of the ruins had opened a new chapter in their quest for survival. "Look at this," Novak said, pointing to a holographic display filled with complex energy signatures. "These readings are unlike anything we've encountered before. They might hold the key to understanding the technology that allowed us to enter the Void." Adams leaned in, his eyes scanning the display with a mix of awe and concern. "What does it mean?" he asked, his voice tinged with curiosity. Novak's expression was one of intense focus. "I'm not entirely sure, but it seems we're on the verge of uncovering something monumental." The sudden blare of alarms interrupted their discussion, drawing their attention to the command center. Admiral Vosto's voice crackled over the intercom. "Adams, Novak, report to the command center immediately. We've detected multiple quantum signatures entering the system." The urgency in Vosto's voice was palpable as Adams and Novak raced through the station's corridors, their minds racing with the implications of the new information. The arrival of Council forces was imminent, and the stakes had never been higher. In the command center, Vosto and the Orion Alliance leaders were already engaged in a heated discussion. "We need to accelerate our plans," Vosto said, his voice grim. "The Council fleet is closing in, and we must be ready to defend the station and the technology we've uncovered." The discovery of ancient symbols and technology within the Void had provided tantalizing clues about a long-lost species that once traversed the multiverse. Novak's fingers flew over the holographic displays as she worked to decipher the glyphs and symbols. "This looks like some kind of dimensional gateway," she said, her voice trembling with excitement. Before Adams could respond, the alarms blared once more, signaling another breach. The tension was palpable as the crew prepared for battle, their efforts focused on defending the station and unraveling the mysteries of the ancient technology. The Council's assault, as the Orion Alliance and their human allies prepared for the Council's assault, the tension aboard the space station reached a fever pitch. The station's defenses were stretched thin as the Council's forces advanced, their ships emerging from the void in a show of overwhelming firepower. Adams and Novak, their nerves on edge, worked alongside the Alliance's engineers to bolster their defenses and prepare for the impending battle. "We need to get those ships operational," Adams shouted over the din of activity. "Get everyone in position and ready for combat." The station shook violently as the Council's forces launched their assault. Explosions and energy blasts lit up the dark void, punctuating the chaos. The Alliance's defense systems sprang to life, their weapon systems firing in coordinated bursts to repel the invaders. Amid the chaos, Novak's focus was on the ancient technology they had uncovered. "We need to activate the gateway," she said, her voice strained with determination. "It's our only chance to turn the tide." Adams, understanding the gravity of the situation, coordinated with Vosto and the other leaders to execute their battle plan. "Activate the gateway!" he ordered, his voice cutting through the cacophony of battle. The massive gateway, a relic of a bygone era, began to hum with energy as the ancient symbols illuminated. Novak worked furiously to synchronize the technology with their quantum drive, her hands flying over the controls. The station's defenses continued to hold, but the Council's forces were relentless. The battle raged on as the gateway's energy surged, creating a shimmering rift in space. The Council's ships, now caught in the gravitational pull of the gateway, were drawn toward the rift. "It's working!" Novak shouted, her voice filled with a mixture of triumph and exhaustion. The gateway pulsed with a brilliant light as the Council's fleet was pulled into the rift, their ships disappearing from view. The immediate threat had been neutralized, but the victory was bittersweet. The station, though damaged, remained intact. The crew, battered but resolute, began to assess the aftermath of the battle. "We did it," Adams said, his voice weary but victorious. "We've pushed them back. Now we need to regroup and figure out our next move." The revelation of the gateway and its activation marked a turning point in their struggle. The ancient technology had provided them with a crucial advantage, but the mysteries of the void were far from resolved. The void's hidden secrets, with the immediate threat of the Council subdued, Adams and Novak, along with the Orion Alliance, turned their attention to the ancient technology they had discovered. The space station, now a focal point of intense research, was abuzz with activity as scientists and engineers worked to unlock the secrets of the void. "The gateway is a key to something much larger," Novak said, her voice filled with awe as she examined the holographic data. "We're dealing with technology far beyond our current understanding." The Alliance's researchers were equally intrigued, their expertise combining with human ingenuity to unravel the mysteries of the gateway. The ancient symbols and glyphs, once enigmatic, were beginning to reveal their secrets. As Adams and Novak delved deeper into their research, they discovered a hidden chamber within the station's core. The chamber, filled with ancient artifacts and data storage devices, held crucial information about the void and its creators. "This chamber is a goldmine of information," Novak said, her eyes wide with excitement. "We need to analyze everything and understand what it means." The chamber's contents provided a glimpse into the history of the void, revealing the existence of a powerful civilization that had once traversed the multiverse. Their advanced technology and knowledge had shaped the galaxy in ways that were only beginning to be understood. The research team worked tirelessly, piecing together fragments of data and deciphering the ancient texts. The findings were astounding. The void was a remnant of an ancient conflict, a battleground where civilizations had clashed and left their mark. The implications of their discoveries were profound. "We've uncovered something monumental," Adams said, his voice filled with a mix of wonder and concern. "The void is a gateway to other dimensions, and the technology we've found could change the course of history." The research revealed that the ancient civilization had been engaged in a struggle against an even greater threat, a force that had sought to dominate the multiverse. The gateway, once a tool of their defense, now held the potential to reshape the balance of power. As the Alliance and human researchers continued their work, they realized that their struggle was far from over. The void's secrets held the key to understanding the greater conflict and finding a path to victory. The final confrontation. With the ancient technology's secrets unlocked and their understanding deepened, Adams, Novak, and the Orion Alliance faced their final confrontation with the Council. The void had revealed its mysteries, and the time had come to put their newfound knowledge to use. The combined forces of humanity and the Alliance prepared for a decisive battle against the Council's forces. The final confrontation would determine the fate of the galaxy and the outcome of their struggle. The Alliance's fleet, bolstered by human ingenuity and the power of the quantum drive, engaged the Council's forces in a massive space battle. The stakes were higher than ever, and the outcome hinged on their ability to leverage the ancient technology they had discovered. As the battle raged, Adams and Novak coordinated their efforts from the command center, their strategic insights guiding the Alliance's forces. "We need to focus on disabling their command ships," Adams said, his voice firm. "They're directing the fleet and controlling the battle." Novak, her hands steady on the controls, monitored the energy signatures of the Council's ships. "I'm initiating a pulse that should disrupt their communications," she said. "It will give us the upper hand." The pulse, a product of the ancient technology, reverberated through the battlefield, creating a wave of interference that disrupted the Council's command structure. The Alliance's forces seized the opportunity, launching a coordinated assault that targeted the Council's key vessels. The tide of battle shifted as the Council's fleet faltered. The combined strength of humanity and the Orion Alliance proved to be a formidable force, and the Council's once unassailable dominance began to crumble. As the final moments of the battle approached, Adams and Novak, their faces illuminated by the battle's glow, watched with a mixture of relief and anticipation. "We've done it," Novak said, her voice filled with emotion. "The Council's forces are retreating." The victory, though hard-won, marked the beginning of a new era. The ancient technology had played a crucial role in their triumph, and the Void's secrets had opened new possibilities for the future. As the dust settled and the galaxy began to heal from the conflict, Adams and Novak looked toward a future filled with hope and potential. Their journey had been one of discovery, resilience, and collaboration, and the lessons learned would shape the course of history for generations to come. The dawn of a new era. As the echoes of battle faded and the stars began to reclaim their tranquil brilliance, the galaxy stood on the cusp of a new era. The Alliance's victory over the Council was more than a military triumph. It signaled a profound shift in the balance of power and the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history. Commander Kyle Adams and Dr. Eliza Novak, their faces etched with the strain of battle but glowing with a sense of accomplishment, took a moment to survey the aftermath from the command center of the Orion Alliance space station. The space station, once a bastion of research and preparation, now became a symbol of hope and renewal. The damaged sections were being repaired, and the station's scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to restore its full functionality. The artifacts and data from the Void's ancient technology were being analyzed, revealing new insights into the multiverse's mysteries. As they walked through the bustling corridors, Adams and Novak reflected on their journey. They had faced seemingly insurmountable odds, navigated through a web of political intrigue, and uncovered secrets that had reshaped their understanding of the galaxy. Admiral Zara Vosto approached them with a look of both pride and relief. "We owe you both a great debt," she said, her voice carrying a note of gratitude. "Your bravery and ingenuity have turned the tide of this conflict. The Orion Alliance and its allies are forever in your debt." Adams nodded, acknowledging the sentiment but also aware of the challenges ahead. "The victory is significant, but the work is far from over. The galaxy is in ruins in some places, and there's much to be done to rebuild and ensure that the Council's legacy of oppression doesn't resurface." Vosto agreed, her gaze resolute. "We're already beginning the process of reconstruction and reconciliation. The Council's fall has created a power vacuum that we must navigate carefully. We intend to establish a new council, one that represents the diverse voices of the galaxy and ensures that no single power can dominate." The first steps towards this new governance were already being taken. Representatives from various species once oppressed by the Council began to gather. The Orion Alliance played a crucial role in facilitating these discussions, aiming to create a fair and inclusive framework for the future. Dr. Novak, whose expertise had been instrumental in deciphering the ancient technology, found herself at the center of efforts to harness this newfound knowledge. "The technology we've uncovered has the potential to revolutionize many aspects of interstellar travel and communication," she said. "We need to ensure that it's used wisely and ethically to benefit all sentient beings." In the wake of their victory, Earth and its allies began to forge new relationships with other species. The previously isolated humans found themselves at the heart of interstellar diplomacy, as their contributions to the galactic struggle earned them respect and influence. Adams and Novak, once reluctant participants in this grand cosmic drama, now found themselves pivotal figures in shaping the galaxy's future. Their efforts were not without challenges. The remnants of the Council's forces, though diminished, remained a threat. Guerrilla attacks and sabotage attempts were not uncommon as factions loyal to the old regime sought to undermine the progress made. The newly formed coalition had to remain vigilant, balancing their efforts between reconstruction and security. One of the most poignant moments came when Adams and Novak visited a memorial erected in honor of those who had fallen during the conflict. The memorial, a sprawling monument located on the central plaza of the Orion Alliance space station, was adorned with the symbols and names of countless individuals from different species who had sacrificed their lives for the cause. Standing before it, Adams reflected on the cost of their victory. "We've come a long way," he said, his voice heavy with emotion. "But we must never forget those who gave everything for this chance at a better future." Novak nodded in agreement. "Their sacrifices remind us of the responsibility we carry. The future is in our hands, and we must ensure that it is one of peace, cooperation, and mutual respect." As the days turned into weeks, the galaxy began to heal. New alliances were formed, and the remnants of the Council's influence gradually faded. The efforts to rebuild and reform the galaxy's political landscape were met with optimism and determination. The ancient technology, once a relic of a forgotten era, became a beacon of hope and progress. In the midst of this transformation, Adams and Novak continued their work, striving to ensure that the lessons learned from their journey were not lost. Their experiences had taught them the value of collaboration, the strength of human ingenuity, and the importance of safeguarding the future. The final scene of their story took place aboard the Odyssey, now fully repaired and ready for its next mission. As they prepared for departure, Adams looked out at the stars, his mind filled with the promise of new adventures and challenges. "The galaxy is vast and full of possibilities," he said, his voice filled with anticipation. "We've made a difference, but our journey is far from over." Novak, standing beside him, smiled. "We've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to discover and achieve. Together, we'll continue to push the boundaries and shape a future worth fighting for." With a final glance at the station that had become their home and the symbol of their victory, Adams and Novak set a course for the stars. The Odyssey, now a symbol of hope and resilience, embarked on its next voyage, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the vast and uncharted expanse of the galaxy.